things unto him. And the people therefore that were with him when he called Lazarus out of his grave and raised him from the dead, they bear witness of this thing. And it says, for this cause the people also met him, for that they heard that he had done this miracle. The Pharisees, again, we have the Pharisees, they're going to oppose every single thing that happens here. You know, the people believing in Jesus, they do not want this to happen. It says, the Pharisees therefore said among themselves, perceive ye how? Perceive ye how? He prevailed nothing. Behold, the world is gone after him. The whole world is coming after Jesus and believing on him. And they've got to do something to stop this. Jesus, this is the Jesus. He's moving. And his death is going to create a lot of things, you see. And so they sought to kill Jesus. But I'm going to read something for you that you know, when you hear it, it's going to tear your heart apart. It's going to make you be filled with tears when you hear some of the things that they're doing to this man called Jesus. All right. Now, it says here that and there were certain Greeks among them that came up to worship at the feast. Listen to this, verse 21. The same came therefore to Philip. You remember Philip, which was at Bethesda of Galilee, and they desired him, saying, Sir, we would see Jesus. They said to Philip, listen, we would see Jesus. And Philip cometh, and he told Andrew about it, and again Andrew and Philip, they tell Jesus. He didn't just run and tell Jesus about it. First, here's some Greeks that come, and they want to see Jesus. They want to talk to him. So Philip's got to be very careful. So first he goes and he tells Andrew, hey, you know, there's some Greeks here, they want to talk to Jesus. So they come together, and then they both go and tell Jesus about it. And what happens? Jesus answered them, saying, the hour is come that the Son of Man should be glorified. Now he doesn't say the hour is come that the Son of Man should be crucified. Jesus doesn't look at this crucifixion as a torment, as a tragedy. He looks at it as a glorification, because when Jesus is crucified, he would have done the will of the Father, and then the Father is going to glorify Jesus. And he said, verily, verily, I say unto you, except a corn of wheat fall into the ground and die, it abideth alone. But if it die, it bringeth forth much fruit. You see, we must die to the world. We must die to sin in order for us to be born again. We've got to be born again of the Spirit of God. Jesus talked about it in John chapter 3. He says you must be born again of the Spirit, of water and the Spirit. He that loveth his life shall lose it, and he that hated his life in this world shall keep it unto life eternal. See, if you want to hold on to your life in this world, you're going to have a lot of problems, and that's going to be it for you right here. But if you would lose your life, you will have life eternal in the end. If any man serve me, let him follow me. And where I am, there shall also my servant be. If any man serve me, he will be honored by my Father. Now, verse 27 says, now, Jesus says, now is my soul troubled. And what shall I say? Father, save me from this hour. But for this cause came I into this hour. The hour is here. The hour is nigh that Jesus is going to be crucified. He knows it. He can feel it in his bones. And he asked the Father to glorify his name. He says, Father, glorify thy name. Then came there a voice from heaven saying, I have both glorified it, and I'll do it again. He prays, a short praise, say, glorify thy name, Father. Now we remember in the Gospel of Matthew 3:17, when Jesus was baptized by John the Baptist, there came a voice from heaven that says, this is my beloved Son, in whom I'm well pleased. That's the same voice of the Father. Again, in Mark chapter 9 verse 7, at the transfiguration, Peter, James and John up on the Mount of Transfiguration. There's Jesus transfigured as Moses and Elijah in the clouds there. And Peter says, you know, it's good that we're here. We can make 3 tabernacles. One for you, one for Moses, one for Elijah. And then a cloud overshadowed them. And they heard a voice out of the cloud saying, "This is my beloved Son, hear him." You know, hear him. This is my... So that's that voice of the Father coming down again and reaching out and giving that command. And Jesus, now he says, now is the judgment of this world. Now shall the prince of this world be cast out. See, when Jesus goes to the cross, the prince of this world, the devil, is going to be defeated. He's going to be defeated. Jesus says in John 12:32, he says, "And I, if I be lifted up from the earth, will draw all men unto me." Jesus says, he's telling us the type of death that he's going to suffer. He says, "If I be lifted up from this earth, I will draw all men unto me." And you can take it another way. If you lift Jesus up, if you praise Jesus, if you give him all the glory which he deserves, Jesus will draw you unto himself. But with this statement here, Jesus is declaring what kind of death he will suffer on the cross. And he says, "If I be lifted up, I will draw all men unto me." Oh, this is our Jesus. And then he said, signifying what death he should die. And the people answered him and they said, we have heard out of the law that Christ abideth forever. And how sayest thou the Son of Man must be lifted up? Who is this Son of Man? Now they're getting confused. They heard something in the scriptures that says one thing. Now Jesus is saying something they cannot really understand. And then Jesus said unto him, "Yet a little while is the light with you. Walk while ye have the light, lest darkness come upon